Hi, we will talk about financial management. This topic includes introduction to financial management, definition of financial management, scope and role in a business, financial goals and objectives, and functions. Introduction to financial management. A business organization seeks to achieve their objectives by obtaining funds from various sources and then investing them in different types of assets such as plants, buildings, machinery, vehicles. Financial management is managing to finances through scientific decision making. To make right decisions, financial management needs to understand financial environment within which these decisions operate. Financial management will then be able to analyze these financial informations to predict likely future results and to plan more carefully their proposed course of action. Management is concerned with the acquisition, financing, and management of assets with some overall goals in mind. Investment decisions begin with a determination of the total amount of assets required by the firm and to determine the money value of the same. Assets that cannot be economically justified may be reduced, eliminated, or replaced. Financing decisions include decisions regarding mix of financing, type of financing employed, dividend policy and method of acquiring funds, getting a short-term loan or a long-term lease arrangement, sale of bonds or stock. Asset management decisions means managing the assets efficiently after their acquisition. Success of a firm depends on the ability to raise funds, invest in assets, and manage wisely. Definition of financial management. Financial management is an internal part of overall management and not a staff function of the organization. It is not only restricted to fund raising process but also covers utilization of funds and monitoring its uses. The finance function is concerned with the process of acquiring and efficient utilization of funds of a business system in order to maximize the value of the enterprise. Management involves the application of principles of general management to the finance function. These functions influence the operation of other crucial functional areas of the enterprise or firm such as marketing, production of personnel. Thus, the overall survival of the firm is affected by its financial operation. The financial management deals with how the corporation obtains the funds and how it uses them. The financial management refers to the application of skills in the manipulation, use, and control of funds. Financial management can also be defined as that part of management which is related mainly with raising or acquiring the funds for the enterprise or firm in the most economical way, utilizing those funds as profitably as possible for a given risk level, planning the future investment of those funds, and controlling the current performance plus future development by adopting budgeting, cost accounting, and financial accounting. Scope and functions of financial management. The main objectives of financial management are to arrange the sufficient funds for meeting short-term, long-term requirements of the enterprise. These finances are produced at minimum cost in order to maximize the profitability. In view of these factors, the financial management scope concentrates on the following areas to finance function.
Estimating the financial requirements. The first job of the finance manager of an enterprise is to estimate short-term and long-term financial requirements of his business. He will prepare a financial plan for present as well as future for this purpose. Required for procuring fixed assets as well as the working capital needs will have to be ascertained. The estimations should be based on sound financial principles so that funds available with the firm are neither inadequate nor excess. Estimating the financial requirements, the finance executive have to decide about the composition of capital. The capital structure refers to the type of proportion of different securities for raising funds. After deciding the quantum of funds needed, it should be decided which type of securities should be raised. Finance executives have to determine the relative proportion of owners' risk capital and borrowed capital along with short-term and long-term debt equity ratio. Decision regarding various sources of funds should be linked with the cost of raising funds. Decisions about the kind of securities to be employed and the proportion in which these should be utilized in an important decision, which affects the short-term and long-term financial planning on the enterprise. List of sources of finance. After preparing a capital structure, an appropriate source of finance is chosen. Various sources from which finance may be raised include shareholders, debenture holders, banks and other financial institutions and public deposit, etc. Finance executive has to evaluate each source or method of finance and select the best source keeping in view the various factors. Its purpose, objective, cost involved may be the factors affecting the selection of a suitable source of financing. For instance, if the finance are required for short periods, then banks, public deposit and financial institutions may be appropriate, and for long-term financial requirements, the share capital and debentures may be useful. Decisions. When the funds have been poured, then a decision regarding pattern of investment has to be taken. The funds raised are to be intelligently invested in various assets so as to optimize the returns on investments. The funds will have to be used first for the purchase of fixed assets and then an operate part will be retained as working capital. Utilization of long-term funds requires a proper assessment of different alternatives thought capital budgeting and opportunity cost analysis. While spending on various assets, management should be guided by three important principles of safety, liquidity, and profitability. A balance should be struck even in these principles for the purpose of optimum returns on investment. Management of profits. The utilizations of surpluses or earnings is also an important factor in financial management. A judicious utilization of earnings is essential for expansion and diversification plans of the enterprise. A certain amount out of the total profits may be kept as reserve voluntarily. A portion of surplus may be distributed among the ordinary and preference shareholders. Yet another portion may be reinvested. The finance executive must take into consideration the merits and demerits of the alternative scheme of utilizing the funds generated from the enterprise own earnings. Management of cash flow. Cash flow management is also an important task of finance executive. He has to access the various cash requirements at different times and then make arrangements for cash needed. Cash may be required to make payments to creditors for purchase of materials to meet vague bill to be everyday expenses. The cash management should be such that neither there is shortage of the end nor it is idle. Any shortage of cash will damage the credit worthiness of the firm. The idle cash with the enterprise will mean that is not properly utilized. In order to know the cash requirements during different periods, the management should arrange for the preparation of cash flow statement in advance. Implementation of financial controls. An efficient system of financial management needs the use of various control of devices. Financial control devices generally adopted are return on investment, budgetary control, cost control, break-even analysis, ratio analysis. The use of various control techniques by the finance manager will help him in evaluating the performance in different areas and take corrective action whenever needed. Financial management in a business. An effective financial management plays a dynamic role in a modern company's development. In earlier days, financial managers were primarily engaged in raising funds and managing the firm cash flow. But nowadays, with the developments and increasing complexities in the business, responsibility of the financial manager have increased and they are now concerned with the decision-making process involving finance, capital investment. Today, external factors like competition, technological change, economic uncertainty, inflation problem, etc. create financial managers' problem more complicated. He must have flexibility to adapt to the changing external environment for the survival of his firm. In addition to the job of execution, financing and managing the assets, the financial manager is supposed to contribute to the furtherance of the firm and to the optimal growth of the economy as a whole. Is required to take decision on investing funds in assets and obtaining best mix of financing and dividends. In order to understand the environment in which a finance manager is required to take decision, a sketch indicating business system is given hereunder. The financial management's main role is therefore to create profit on the capital invested. Each and every decision related to finance economy must be optimal. Every business enterprise is set up to earn profits and no one is interested in taking risk unless he is assured of fair return on the investment. However, government organizations have no profit motive but are created to serve the public.
The profit earned by a firm is used for future expansions, distributing profit as rewards to owners' shareholders. Profit earned also serves as an indicator of efficiency and performance of the firm. So, as to enable to perform the role of financial management, financial managers must be given proper authority, autonomy, freedom of actions, supporting staff, system for providing necessary information. He should be accountable also for his role. Financial goals and objectives. There may be various objectives of the firm, but the goal of the firm is to maximize the wealth of the firm's owners. Thus, we can say that the improvement of shareholders' value is the one mission that continually guides all corporate decisions and actions, or the goal of the firm is maximizing the shareholders' value. This maximization of value should be achieved from a long-term point of view. The financial goal can be expressed as recurrent profit levels, earnings per shares, and recurrent rate of return on investment. For a large firm where shareholders do not have a direct say and the firm is managed by the management, or an ordinary shareholder can gauge the performance by the market price of the firm shares. Market price serves as a gauge for business performance. It indicates how well management is doing on behalf of its shareholders. Management is the agent of the owners or shareholders, and financial management acts for achieving the goal of profit maximization in the shareholders' best interest. Social goals. While profit maximization is a primary goal for any business organizations, social responsibility is also important for them. In case of government organizations and public sector organizations, social responsibility is the primary goal, and profit is secondary. Social responsibility includes service to the people, protecting the consumer, paying fair wages to the employees, upliftment of the weaker sections, welfare facility like medical education, environment improvement programs, etc. Financial objectives. In making financial decisions, it is important to set our clear objectives. Following are the basic financial objectives: profit maximization, maximization of shareholders' owners' wealth, reduction in cost, minimizing risk, sustained increase in value of firm, wealth maximization. Functions of financial management. Identify the present strengths and weaknesses of the organization and the scope for improvement by concluding the financial analysis. Planning the financial strategy. This involves the consideration of methods and levels of funds raising, profitability, and the financing of expansion plan of the organization. Arranging the funds when required in the form needed in the most economical way. Conducting financial appraisal of the possible course of actions. The appraisals are needed in respect of possible takeovers and mergers, analysis of capital projects or alternative methods of funding, advising about capital structure, consideration of an appropriate level for drawings by dividends to the owners, shareholders, ensuring that assets are controlled and used in an efficient manner. Cash management, preparation of detailed cash budgets and or forecast funds flow statements so that future problems can be foreseen and immediately measures taken in advance. This takes care of both shortage and excess of cash. Finance managers must find ways of raising more funds needed or investing excess funds for an appropriate length of time. Finance managers are likely to draw attention on other disciplines also, like accounting and budgeting.
The functions of finance thus involve three major decisions the firm must make. First, the investment decisions. Second, the financing decisions. And last, the dividend decisions. Each of these decisions are taken in relation to the objective of the firm. An optimal combination of these three will maximize the value of the firm. To each shareholders signs the decisions are interlinked. Their joint effect on the market price of the firm's stock must be considered. Investment decisions. This is the most important decision. Capital investment. Allocation of capital. The investment proposals is the most important aspect, whose benefits are to be realized in future. As future benefits are not known with certainty, the investment proposals involve risk. This should therefore be evaluated in relation to expected return and risk. Considerable attention is paid to determine the appropriate requested rate of return on the investment. In addition to taking capital investment decisions, finance managers are concerned with the management of current assets effectively in order to maximize profitability relative to the amount of funds tied up in asset. Investment decisions also include the decisions about mergers and acquisition of another company. Financing decisions. Finance manager is required to determine the best financing mix or capital structure. An optimal financing mix is one in which market price per share could be maximized. Financing decisions are taken in relation to the overall valuation of the firm. Various methods of obtaining short, intermediate, and long-term financing are also explored, examined, analyzed, and a decision is taken. While taking financing decisions are influence of inflation on financing markets and on the cost of funds to the firm is also considered. Dividend decision. The dividend decision includes the percentage of earnings paid to stockholders in cash dividends, stock dividends and splits, and the repurchase of stock. To meet funds requirement of a firm. Funds requirement is assessed for different purposes, namely for feasibility study of a project, detailed planning of the project, and for operation and expansion of the business. For feasibility study, only broad estimates are sufficient and are generally obtained from the past experience of the similar works by interpreting the present trends and the condition of the proposed project in comparison to the one whose figures are being adopted, while during detailed planning estimated requirement is comparatively more elastic and prepared after going into details more thoroughly. Here we are discussing the fund's requirement for a running business, including its long-term planning for expansion. The main function of financial management is to ensure that the firm must have sufficient funds to meet financial obligations when they are needed and to take advantage of investment opportunities. To achieve this objective, a thorough study is conducted about flow of funds, statement of funds requirement, indicating the amount of funds needed and at what time. This statement of funds is a summary of a firm's changes in financial position from one period to another. This indicates that how the funds will be used and how it will be financed over a specific period of time. This includes the cash as well as non-cash transactions. Forecast financial statements are prepared for specified future details, generally of middle-term and long-term plans of the firm. Budgets are used for 1 year and are prepared only to fulfill the firm's objectives envisaged in the forecast for that particular year. These forecast financial statements are based on the sales forecast and future stages for extending the business and includes forecast income statements, forecast assets, liabilities, shareholders, equity, etc.